In this installment, I'm going to be bringing you the top plays for tonight's Sunday Night Football Showdown between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Sunday Night Football Showdown tonight, Week 1, for this great matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Dallas Cowboys. This is a very similar matchup as they had last year in Week 1. They're bringing it back over, and it's probably going to be the same result. All right. So before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsDD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about the Patreon. All those links will be provided down below. Now let's start off with the captain positions here. I think this is going to be really clear cut for this particular game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, we are not going to play Chris Godwin. All right, this man just came back from a torn ACL, highly questionable. Obviously things been ramping up for him in preparation for this Week 1, but I don't think we should just go out there in his first week back from a torn ACL and throw him in our lineups. That is going to take a lot of confidence that he's not going to be 100% ready. Okay, this is his first game back. Don't expect what you've seen from last year in his first game back. So we're going to simmer down on Chris Godwin in Week 1. We're going to assess that situation, see how that goes. For the captain position, we're going to focus in on Mike Evans here. This is going to be the top target for Tom Brady, especially in that red zone area. As you can see, these strong weeks he put together in that playoff run, 28, 29, 26. All right, so those are big fantasy point productions. And that's definitely going to roll over into this game going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Dallas Cowboys were one of the top scoring defense because they can create turnovers, but they give up a lot of yardage and a lot of points. So Mike Evans at that captain spot is going to be someone we're going to focus in on, especially on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side. The next guy we can look at for the Dallas side at that captain spot will be CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is stepping into a situation where he's going to be the clear-cut #1 wide receiver on this offense. James Washington, who they newly acquired, went out on the IR. They're waiting for Michael Gallup to come back. That's going to take a couple weeks. A lot of threat of that Jalen Tolbert, it was going to be a factor in this wide receiver. And that he's failed so far in this preseason, and they're talking about him being a healthy scratch. If you look at this last posting on Roto World, and this was 2 days ago, they wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Tolbert was a healthy scratch in Week 1. That is not good news because there's a ton of backups behind the Dallas Cowboys leading wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. So he should be heavily targeted. Definitely should get a high volume. The question is he going to convert against a very good secondary in Tampa Bay? I think he's going to be just fine, and he should be a factor in your captain positions. All right, so we're going to focus in on Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb. Other guys we can look at, Dak Prescott is going to have to put up volume. He's going to have to throw a lot. The question, it might not even be enough when it comes down to the end of the game of winning. But for fantasy production, as you can see in Week 1, when he faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a loss, he was able to put up 31 fantasy points. So that is something we are going to look at for this game as well. And Dallas is going to be home, so you get the home crowd. Dak Prescott obviously wants a little bit of redemption. He is going to have to throw the ball and key in on CeeDee Lamb and his other guy, Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz is another guy we can look at that captain position. Since there's only two options. It's only two options. You got CeeDee Lamb and you have Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz had a great year last year, 85 catches, 897 yards, and 8 touchdowns. This is the safety net for Dak Prescott when things get a little bit frizzled and fuzzled and there's chaos everywhere. Dalton Schultz is that safety net he can rely upon that sits right in the middle of that zone, catches it, and he's going to take it for a couple more yards down the field. Definitely a good X factor to have in this game. So we got a couple Cowboys here. We got CeeDee Lamb, we have Schultz, we have Dak Prescott. Mike Evans, I love on the Tampa Bay side at captain. We can look at Leonard Fournette as well. Lenny will be a guy that they're going to focus on in the rushing and receiving game, okay? Leonard Fournette had a great great receiving year last year. As you can see, some of these numbers: 9 receptions, 7 receptions, 4, 7, 7. Consistency, and we know Tom Brady does not want to get hit. He's going to pass that football to his pass catching running backs. They have one more guy. We'll talk about him a little bit later. He's going to be more of a flex option, but as captain, Leonard Fournette is definitely a great play for week 1. Now, if we're looking for another wide receiver in this offense, we'll look at that in the flex department, but captain wise, I think we're pretty good. You can look at Zeke. He's going to get a high volume, but I don't think he's going to be effective against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. All right, if we look back in week 1 last year, only had 11 carries, only got you 5 fantasy points. So that was a poor performance. And he's going to be splitting carries with Tony Pollard, who I like more in this matchup. If I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be down, they're going to have to play catch up. They're going to have to utilize Tony Pollard and his shiftiness and ability to catch the ball outside of the backfield and create from there. So for the captain positions, we're going to focus in on Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, Schultz, Prescott, Leonard Fournette, and don't forget about Tom Brady as well. Tom Brady, obviously, he's going to have to put up a great performance. We're looking for 3 to 4 touchdowns if he's going to really break the slate. And he did it. He did it in week 1 last year against this team in the Dallas Cowboys, 32 fantasy points. So in a build where you can go QB or you can go wide receiver, you can even get creative with defense and other variations. Tom Brady comes through with a great performance as he did last year. He could do that yet again. He's another guy we can focus in on at that captain spot. Moving over to the flex positions, the key parts we need to focus in on for this showdown slate. Remember, I just spoke about Tony Pollard. He's going to be the first guy we're going to focus on in this offense. I think he's going to have a better performance than Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott is going to be struggling first and second down, trying to run that ball up the middle. Tony Pollard brings a little bit more of an X factor, more speed, more burst, more explosiveness. He's someone we could look at 6,400 in our flex position. We have some other guys we liked for Tampa Bay in the flex as well, and that's Russell Gage. Russell Gage is someone I'm going to look at that slot position, even though Chris Godwin is going to be back and active. He's going to be super limited. The consistent guy that's going to be on the field will be Russell Gage. He is clearly right now likely to play, even though he had a little bit of a hamstring issue. Everything is fine and okay. He's going to play against the Dallas Cowboys in week 1. He's someone that's going to be a high reception guy. Hopefully he gets highly targeted as well. Look what he did in his last game before coming over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Had 9 receptions, 126 yards, and 1 TD. Hopefully he has a good connection with Tom Brady. All right. The next guy we're going to look at, remember, I said do not play Jalen Tolbert. We are not going to play Jalen Tolbert. He might be a healthy scratch, and if not, he's going to be a 3rd or 4th wide receiver on that offense, even though they have all backups, okay? So the guy that they're going to be, that he got usurped by, will be Noah Brown. Noah Brown is someone that's going to be at a very cheap price for the Dallas Cowboys. He's emerged as the number 2 wide receiver in this offense. So if you're looking past Schultz and CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown could be that next guy for you. And he's really dirt cheap at $3,000. I have one more gem for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side. And that, actually two more gems. First will be Julio Jones at $5,000, newly acquired. There's been rave reviews about Julio Jones and Tom Brady in practice. So we'll see if that converts over to week 1. These are going to be the 2 main starters, Mike Evans, Julio Jones, out there on the field with Tom Brady. So that's going to be exciting to see. Don't forget, let me throw in Russell Gage in there. And then I have one more gem for you at this very cheap price, a punt play. All right, I gave you Isaiah McKenzie in the previous video. The guy we're going to look at will be Rachaad White. All right, soon, Rachaad White, the rookie running back, will become a bigger factor in this offense. Right now, this is the number 2 running back behind Leonard Fournette. If anything happens to him, if Leonard Fournette struggles or gets injured, Rachaad White is going to be the guy. And remember, on 3rd downs, Rachaad White is going to be the guy coming out of that backfield, creating some havoc. He's dangerous, very, very dangerous in that pass game. Rachaad White is going to be our punt play of the day. Now, for defenses and kickers, they are definitely viable in this game. We're not playing Dallas Cowboys defense or Dallas Cowboys. We could play Dallas Cowboy kicker. But if I'm choosing one side or the other, I like the Buccaneers defense in this game. They can be a sneaky captain as well, similar to what you saw in that Bills game. Some of the winning lineups have Bills defense up there, and they paid up at the other spots. All right, so definitely like Buccaneers D, and Ryan Suckup, Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicker, is going to be viable for this one. So I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay. I'm fine with 5-1 builds Tampa Bay, 4-2 builds towards Tampa Bay as well. But some key guys we need to focus on that flex will be Tony Pollard, Noah Brown, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, and Rachaad White. Remember, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is a plus, and you can play Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicker, right? I'm looking away from the Dallas side defensively and for special teams. So that is going to be the breakdown for this Sunday Night Football Showdown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that I'll be back very soon with another video. Don't forget the Monday Night Football one is coming out pretty soon as well.